We've made it to Friday. It is March 14th, and here's what we're working on this morning. Liberal leader Mark Carney will become Canada's next Prime Minister in just a few hours.
Hamilton Police and McMaster University are trying to get a handle on St. Patrick's Day parties off campus this weekend.
And there's a new Looney Tunes movie coming out. Good morning and happy lunar eclipse day.
Yes,
Lots of people out this morning, actually. It was nice to see lots of lights on driving in this morning. I'm like, oh, people are up because they want to see the lunar eclipse.
Yeah, I tried to get the shots or get shots of it from like 3 different vantage points. It's really neat to see.
We have those coming in, and if you've got shots, let us know. We've already had a few of our viewers send in really great photos, and we'll show them just a little bit later.
And you were right, Brian. Perfect skies.
Yes,
I was just going to say that. Perfect skies overnight. We had clear skies. There was hardly a cloud in the sky, and you got a really good view of it. It's pretty much gone by now, but we saw that real red hue on the moon throughout the totality. Wow, what a spectacle, and what a beautiful night. It is a little cool to start our morning here. We are just into the minus column. We are -1. Not much of a wind, thankfully, so the wind chill at the moment is -6, but as I said, skies are clear. We are going to see the sunshine today, and we're going to be a milder day today than we were yesterday. Yesterday we got to 9. It was a lovely day. Today, a bit more of a breeze. It'll be a sunny day, a little bit of cloud cover, but we should hit 11 degrees. Tomorrow, we are going to get a little bit of sun, but then showers and possible thunderstorms, but it's going to be on the mild side. Actually, tonight, the temperature drops to 6 and then goes up to 12 by tomorrow morning, and we could hit 18 degrees for the day tomorrow. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Friday's traffic, well, usually very light. Never mind this being March break week, so there's not much going on. 403 Waterdown Road, that looks pretty good at the moment. So let's check some MTO traffic cameras, and we'll start at Stony Creek. Well, coming out of Stony Creek toward the Skyway, Nikola Tesla Boulevard looks good. Other side of the Skyway, south of 2 or North Shore Boulevard, okay. Third line, no problems. We do have a situation in Glanbrook. Airport Road is closed. Upper James to Miles Road. That will continue for parts of the morning. Here, it's a police investigation ongoing. We will keep you posted. We'll look at weather and traffic in a few minutes. Right now, the news.
Okay, thanks very much. Well, as Mark Carney prepares to be sworn in as Prime Minister this morning, he is expected to bring in a new and smaller cabinet. Sources say some portfolios could be combined, and several ministers may be taking care of more than one portfolio. Those playing key roles in Canada's response to U.S. President Donald Trump's trade war will be in Carney's new cabinet. They include Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly, Industry Minister François-Philippe Champagne, Finance Minister Dominic LeBlanc, and Public Safety Minister David McGuinty. They're expected to keep their jobs. However, Public Services Minister and Procurement Minister Jean-Yves Duclos and Health Minister Mark Holland are not expected to be returning.
Speaking to reporters in Washington, Ontario Premier Doug Ford says his meeting with U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick was productive.
We know that we're very close partners for many, many years. We want to make sure we continue building on that relationship. We feel that the temperature is being lowered. We feel the temperature is being lowered. We want the best outcome for both countries.
However, despite calling it the best meeting he's ever had in Washington, no change is coming on punishing tariffs each country has thrown on North American markets. Ford was joined in Washington by Federal Finance Minister Dominic LeBlanc and Industry Minister François-Philippe Champagne. The meeting was inspired after Ford slapped a 25% surcharge on Ontario's electricity exports to 3 U.S. states, which the Premier backed off on when Trump threatened to double new steel and aluminum tariffs.
There are worries the trade war may impact health care. The Ontario Hospital Association says tariffs and counter-tariffs will likely bring significant risk to the province's healthcare system, including the disruption of access to vital equipment. The association says it's working with the federal and Ontario governments to try to minimize the impact on hospitals. Diabetes Canada says it's been talking to the federal health ministry, trying to ensure that materials used to package medications and to make medical devices are not included in any future rounds of counter-tariffs.
There's a huge surge in measles cases in Ontario. Public Health Ontario says there have been 372 total cases since late October. That includes a jump of 195 cases since the agency's report last month. It blames the sharp increase on the highly infectious disease, quick and broad spread in unimmunized children and teens. More than 2,500 high school students in Hamilton have been suspended because of missing vaccine records. Public health officials had sent out several rounds of warnings to parents. Since the 2022-23 school year, Public Health has resumed screening of vaccination records for all students enrolled in Hamilton schools. Up-to-date vaccination records are required under the Immunization of School Pupils Act. The number of students with updated records is significantly lower than before the pandemic.
Power has now been restored after a major outage in a section of Hamilton's West End. More than 3,500 homes and businesses were without electricity just before 9 o'clock last night. Electra's website showed the affected area was from Dundurn to James Street and from Aberdeen Avenue to Bayfront. One person described seeing a fireball in front of the Good Shepherd Admin building on Bay Street North.
I heard a big bang, like an explosion, and as soon as I heard that, I looked out my window and I saw like a great big fireball. It looked like a great red fireball. Wow. And we figured something major must have happened. Yeah. So we ran downstairs to look at it. And one of the ladies that lives in the corner on the 8th floor said she saw that go up to the 8th floor. That's how big it was. Yeah.
And a firefighter confirmed that there was a fireball in that area. Power was restored about an hour later. A shocking account of a brazen home invasion in Grimsby. The target was the home of a well-known video game content creator who owns several high-end vehicles. Maria Lopez was playing video games in her home when she heard the bangs at the door. 5 men with bandanas covering their faces, armed with hammers, came into the home, demanded the car keys. Lopez said she told the suspects where the keys were.
When I told him I didn't know where he was and he started charging at me, I'm like, how hard am I going to get hit right now? That's my thought. I'm like, I'm going to end up in the hospital. And then when they took the keys, I still stood there because I kind of froze.
Now, when they left the house with the keys for the vehicles that were parked in the driveway, they actually weren't able to get inside the vehicles because they couldn't, or they could get inside them, but they couldn't start them. That's because all of the vehicles had secondary theft prevention measures in place. Police released descriptions for the 5 men that came into the home, but no arrests have been made. The City of Hamilton and McMaster University are taking steps to keep students and the community safe ahead of St. Patrick's Day with the University District Safety Initiative. The zero tolerance zone's been expanded to include the Ainsley Wood neighborhood to deter large and unsanctioned gatherings. People can face hefty fines for public intoxication, damage to public or private property, fighting, and things like climbing on roofs. Similar enforcement is in place around Queen's University in Kingston, Wilfrid Laurier University in Waterloo, and at the University of Guelph. The initiative around McMaster went into effect yesterday and will remain in place until Monday night.
Let's take a look at sports now. We'll start you off all the way up north, up in North Bay, where the Brantford Bulldogs and the league's top goal scorer, Nick Lardis, are looking to keep the winning ways going.
Podsy turns on the Jets through center ice, across the line. Yurchuk trying to get him. Shot, scores!
And Padsy from Ukraine puts North Bay on the board first midway through the second with an end-to-end rush. And this was a tight game. The Bulldogs don't bite back until the third period. Mark Vanacker with a little dipsy-doodle and with traffic in front goes top shelf glove side on McIver to tie the game. And Vanacker at it again midway through the frame. He takes it around the net, tries a wrap around. The rebound goes right to Nick Lardis, who pots his 71st goal of the year. Bulldogs win their third straight 2-1. Brantford wraps up their 4-game road trip tonight in Sudbury, not against the Blueberry Bulldogs, however, but the Sudbury Wolves. Toronto Maple Leafs were back in action last night after squeaking past Utah on Monday. The Buds went into last night's tilt against the Florida Panthers, losers of 3 of 4. And this was a measuring stick game of sorts because Florida loaded up at the trade deadline and was sitting in first place in the Atlantic Division. And it didn't take long for the Leafs to strike first in this one. Willie Stiles with some slick moves along the boards, and what a pass to John Tavares, who one time surpassed Sergei Bobrovsky, 1-0 home team. Late in the opening period, the Panthers claw right back on the power play. Mackie Samoskevich drives the net, stopped by Stolars, but there's Sam Bennett to clean up the trash in front. This one is knotted up at ones. Jump to late in the second, Panthers with a 2-1 lead and back on the power play, and Sam Bennett again, this time with a sweet feed from Sam Reinhart. Florida takes a 3-1 lead. The Buds make it interesting in the third thanks to this speedy snipe by Max Domi, but that is as close as they would get. Toronto loses their 4th of 5 and drops to 4 points back of the Panthers for first in the Atlantic.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think we're both fighting to get into first place. That's what guys, what I mean. You just want to compete and win, and I think that's, a great game to get ready for playoff hockey.
Just how tight it's going to be as we head down the stretch and play a team like Florida. That's obviously defending Cup champs and the pedigree they have, and the challenge that they present as you're trying to earn a playoff spot.
9 other games on tap in the NHL last night, including 2 other Canadian squads, and one of them, the hottest team in the entire league right now. Michael Andlauer and the Steve Staios are leading the Ottawa Senators into the playoffs this year. That's an Adam Atkinson guarantee. You heard it right here. Shane Pinto opened the scoring for the Senators against the Boston Bruins. Drake Batherson netted a pair, including this sweet feed from Brady Tkachuk, and the Sens steamrolled the Bruins 6-3 and have now won 5 in a row. Don't look now, but they're only 6 points back of the Leafs. The Battle of Ontario is on Saturday. Let's head to Newark, where the Devils hosted the Oilers. And despite Leon Draisaitl potting his league-leading 47th goal of the season, the Devils would rally with 2 goals in the third for the 3-2 win. We all know that Steph Curry has revolutionized the game of basketball with his incredible three-point shooting. Well, last night he took it even further.
Curry hit a 3, but that's it. Diving for it, Monk. Curry thought about 3. He'll put up a 3. A shot for the ages from a player for the ages. Truly the portrait of an artist.
The portrait of an artist indeed. Steph Curry became the first player in the NBA to score 4,000 career three-pointers. He was already known as the greatest shooter in league history. It happened during the third quarter in the Golden State Warriors game against the Sacramento Kings, and it came hours before Curry's 37th birthday, which is today. Golden State beat Sacramento 130-104. He has almost 900 more three-pointers than the next closest player.
All right, 13 minutes after 6 o'clock, the 14th morning of March, and it is Friday. We're looking at traffic first of all, then we'll get to our forecast for today on the weekend. Traffic is no problems right now. And the major routes are all moving fine. That's the 403 right around Waterdown Road. Looks good. Into St. Catharines, we'll start there and come around the Horseshoe. We're looking at the QEW in Welland, and there's nothing to see. Nikola Tesla Boulevard still looks good. Here's Fairview toward Brant Street. No problems. East of Royal Windsor around the Ford plant, and the QEW at Dixie moving nicely. The only problem that we have is in Glanbrook. Airport Road is closed, Upper James to Miles Road, and that is a police investigation ongoing. Temperature at the moment. Into the minus column, we are -2. Sky is, well, partly cloudy. I mean, throughout the overnight for the eclipse, the sky was clear, absolutely perfect conditions. So -2, a little bit of a light northeasterly breeze, and that makes it feel like about -5 so far this morning. What we have is a nice clear area right across southern Ontario. That's pretty much going to stay for the day today. However, tomorrow, that low pressure system. So beware tomorrow the showers, and also beware the Ides of March for tomorrow. So that shower activity is going to continue, maybe even some thunderstorms during the day tomorrow, but warmer temperatures, and the showers are going to continue into Sunday, and they could be heavy at times, and the wind is going to pick up. Look at the temperatures: 14 and 17 for Niagara, 17, 16, Cayuga, Simcoe, Brantford, 11 and 10 for the rest of the Horseshoe. We should have the sunshine today. Bit of a breeze will pick up. Look how mild it's going to be tonight. 9, 6 for Hamilton, but that temperature is going to rise overnight. We could hit 12 degrees by tomorrow morning. That warm air is really going to flood in. Temperatures around the rest of the Horseshoe, 6 and 7. Look at tomorrow. We'll start off with a bit of sun, but then showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures anywhere from 17 to 18 to even 19 degrees for the day tomorrow. Not quite records. Records are in the low to mid 20s at the moment for daytime highs, but we'll see a bit of sun to start the morning, and then the cloud showers, possible thunderstorms will settle in during the day, and it's going to stick around and stay fairly wet on Sunday. So out the door this morning, partly cloudy, light winds, temperature right now -2. Long range in a few minutes. Annette, Adam.
Okay, thanks very much. Well, coming up after the break, U.S. President Donald Trump's escalating global trade war has caused the stock market into a correction. In overseas trading this morning, the Canadian dollar is up 13 basis points at 69.39 cents U.S. Gold prices hit a record high this morning on increased safe haven demand amid uncertainty over all the trade wars and tensions. It's now trading over $3,000 an ounce. Crude oil is up almost $1 to $67.46 a barrel. Checking midday trading in Europe, markets are up slightly across the board: London, Frankfurt, and Paris.
Over in Asia, markets were up across the board in Tokyo, Hong Kong, and Shanghai. And in North American markets, the TSX dropped over 200 points. The Dow lost more than 500, and the Nasdaq closed 345 points lower.
Well, the stock market has dropped 10% from its high set last month, hurt by worries about the economy and a global trade war involving the United States. This is an arbitrary number, but it's big enough that Wall Street has a name for such a decline. It's called a correction. Such drops have been regular occurrences through history, and some investors see them as potentially healthy things to clear out excessive and dangerous risk-taking in the markets. But they're frightening in the moment, particularly for a new generation of investors who are just in the market when it seemed that stocks were just going up.
Yesterday, U.S. President Donald Trump threatened to put a 200% tariff on European alcohol. It's in response to the European Union's retaliation against Trump's steel and aluminum tariffs. In a social media post, Trump said the new tariff will go into effect unless the EU rescinds a 50% tariff imposed Wednesday on U.S. spirits. He said, quote, "This will be great for the wine and champagne business in the U.S." America's spirits industry said it was bracing for pain from the retaliatory tariffs. This comes as Ontario Premier Doug Ford ordered the LCBO to remove U.S. booze from its shelves on March 4th.
Well, Tesla says it could be impacted by retaliatory tariffs in response to the tariff policy. A letter to U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer lays out how it believes a trade war could hurt U.S. manufacturers and Tesla's operations. The company says U.S. trade policy needs to take into account, quote, limitations in the domestic supply chain. In particular, Tesla notes that electric vehicles and lithium-ion batteries, some items it says are hard to source in the United States. The letter from the electric car company that's led by Elon Musk isn't signed. It represents a break from Musk, who is now an ally of Donald Trump. And America's most popular pickup truck could also be among the biggest victims of the tariffs on aluminum and steel. The Ford F-150 relies heavily on those materials, making up more than half the cost of production. If the tariffs stay in place, analysts say it could increase the cost, vehicle costs by about $400. I believe that should be $4,000 U.S. Those added costs will likely be passed on to consumers. The F-150 and Super Duty pickup trucks are Ford's biggest profit drivers. Ford has not commented on how the tariffs might impact car prices if they should last.
All right, taking a break now. Brian will be back with a look at traffic and your 7-day forecasting. It looks pretty good.
Good morning. 24 minutes after 6 o'clock on Friday. What is it? Today is the 14th of March already, almost the middle of March. Here's the QEW at Mountain Road. Nothing to see through St. Catharines. Well, this is actually between Niagara Falls and St. Catharines, but nothing there. South of 2 still looks good. Here's third line, Toronto-bound lanes towards us, a little bit busier, but nothing at Sheraton, dipping into the 403 at Winston Churchill, all doing fine. Keep in mind, in Glanbrook, Airport Road is closed, Upper James to Miles Road for a police investigation there. All right, temperatures right now. Fairly consistent, actually, -1. You factor in the breeze, it's pretty much just a breeze. It feels like about -5, but Hamilton, Grimsby, Toronto, Mississauga, all sitting at -1. So, sunrise for today. Sun comes up 7:34, goes down 7:24. Those are our seasonal temperatures and our records for today. And we are going to see the sun today. Sun, a little bit of cloud cover, so a mainly sunny sky, and 11 degrees, double-digit high today. Tonight, the temperature falls to 6 and then rises to 12 by tomorrow morning. Warm front comes through. We'll get some sun to start and then chance of showers later, but 18 the high. Temperatures dip a bit on Sunday, 14. It'll be fairly windy, and we could get some heavy shower activity on Sunday. Then for St. Patrick's Day on, we go from 14 to 2. That's what happens this time of year, so quite a temperature change for St. Patrick's Day on Monday. 7 on Tuesday, 11 on Wednesday. Ooh, spring arrives on Thursday. There it is. We'll get some showers and a little cooler at 4. That's your forecast. Annette, Adam.
Okay, now to that total lunar eclipse from just a few hours ago, known as the blood moon. It cast a red hue over much of southern Ontario very early this morning. The lunar eclipse is the first of its kind since 2022. It happens when the Earth is between the moon and the sun, and the moon passes through the shadow cast by the Earth. This video was captured by Adam
me.
at around 3:30 this morning.
Yeah, it's nice and early. These were also captured by our morning live producer, Tansy, these pictures. These are beautiful. Another shot was submitted by viewer Vicky Ramirez from Six Nations.
Oh, that's a nice shot with the stars.
Yeah, it's a neat shot. And over in Niagara Falls, Bobby Wood stayed up late to capture this photo. That's beautiful.
Well, that's awesome. We've got some more coming in as well, so we hope to show them that. It was so pretty.
Yeah, it was really neat to see, that's for sure. And you could see it clearly wherever I was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got lots more to come, including more on Brian's great forecast coming up.